You're listening to the International Moving Podcast, your guide to moving to another country, brought to you by SDC International Shipping, LA's finest. An international move is exciting. It's a time to start over, establish a new business maybe, reestablish family ties, or retire where your budget will do more for you. Please enjoy today's episode, and if you have any questions about your international move, give us a call at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Jim for SDC International Shipping. As always, you're listening to the International Moving Podcast, your guide to living in another country. Today's episode is a special one because today we officially launched our newest destination-specific website, and you can find that at mover2spain.com. That's mover, M-O-V-E-R, to Spain.com. And this site is designed to help you navigate your transition to a new life in Spain. We talk about everything you need to know on this website. Visas, life in Spain, cost of living, expat communities, the simple steps also that you need to take in order to get your belongings there safely. And we're going to be adding to this website every week, new and fresh content. Everything will be updated. Now you may ask, well, why are you creating different websites? Well, we have our main website at sdcinternationalshipping.com. But we found that there are certain locations that are so popular that to dedicate a website just to those specific areas, like Australia, Spain, and the UK, it will make it easier for you to find the information that you're looking for because you don't have to search through the various countries, destinations, different types of shipping. Everything on that site is dedicated to a move to that specific area. So mover2spain.com is our latest location website. Previously, in the previous weeks, we released two other websites, movers, plural, to Australia.com. That's movers, plural, to Australia.com. And again, that site has everything related to an Australian move, an Australian relocation. And this is for everyone. You can be a student going there on a student type visa. Maybe you're going to a university in any of these countries. You could be a professional looking to relocate for career reasons. You could just be a simple adventurer looking to explore new countries and have new experiences. Or you can be an expat entering into your retirement years. There's a lot of reasons why people travel today, and of course, it's easier than ever before. International moving used to just be, if you think international moving is complicated today, just imagine what, without the technology, without computers, without AI, without all of that, what it would have been like in the past, when you would be out of touch with people, no cell phones, no real way to communicate. Think about all throughout history, people making these journeys across the world, and the lack of technology didn't keep them from making that trip. But I'll tell you one thing, the fact that technology has and logistics have improved so much over time, you can see then how and why so many people decide to make this kind of journey today. In the past, maybe even the not so distant past, in some ways you might be taking your life into your own hands. But today, shipping is just part of, and we're talking about shipping by air, shipping by sea, shipping over land, over road. It's easier than it's ever been before. And so this is the podcast where we talk about these things. We talk about different countries. We talk about the moving process. We also talk about what it's like to live in some of these countries, what the cost of living is like, why people are going there. Now, one thing is definitely for sure is that everything is changing faster today, I think, than it's ever changed before. Even going back 10 years ago, I think that it's just international moving has become a very popular thing to do. And we're not just talking about people in the United States, even people in Europe are traveling more than they have in the past. They're relocating. And of course, we have the other people. We have Well, I mean, not get into the politics of who's moving and why, but yeah, so we talk about all of it. So if you enjoy this topic, definitely you're going to want to subscribe to this podcast. We also have YouTube channels for each of our location websites. So if you go to movertospain.com, let's focus on that right now, then you can see there'll be links there. We have a Facebook page with the overall SDC International Shipping. You can get a lot of information there. Chat with us if you'd like. Everybody has a preference today of how they like to communicate and how they like to get more information. And that's why at our website we offer live chat. There's a phone number if you'd rather just grab a phone and call and talk directly with a relocation specialist. We have a form that you can fill out and get a free estimate. In other words, there's something for everyone. So go ahead and check that out when you have some time. Now, let's talk a little bit about Spain. Spain is a country that in over the last 2 or 3 years I'm learning more about all the time. Number one, because we talk about different countries here on this podcast, but also I have friends that live there. And so I have sort of an inside view. Yeah, still from the outside looking in, but it's nice when you actually talk to people that live there and they would tell you what they like and what they dislike. And it's funny, we were talking the other day about neighborhoods. No matter where you live, let's say you live in a more upscale neighborhood, there always seems to be one house where the people are sloppy or they do things that annoy everybody else in the neighborhood. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because I was traveling through a neighborhood the other day locally, and there was that house. The neighborhood is actually a shortcut that I take from time to time. And yes, that house is there. You can tell this is the house that annoys everybody else in the neighborhood. It sticks out like a sore thumb, unfortunately. Well, friends of ours who moved to Spain, they just happened to move next to the person when they first moved there who was that person in their neighborhood in Spain. And, at first everything went all right, but then after a while, it really began to grate on them. Eventually, they did move to another neighborhood in Spain, but this just goes to show you that, there isn't a perfect place that you can go to. I'm sure that there are people that feel that way, that wherever they are, that's their home. It works out great for them. And then there's other people within that same area that just can't wait to get out of there and never come back again. But imagine, if you will, waking up to the sound of the Mediterranean Sea or wandering through those old, historic alleyways that date back centuries in Spain, in a city like a Barcelona, for example. Spain is consistently ranked as one of the best places in the world to live. Recently, when somebody was talking about what does the country export, what makes it popular, and it doesn't export oil, it doesn't export some of the things that would immediately come to mind if you're talking about like the United States, for example. But Spain is known for exporting luxury type goods. That's what it's known for. And so it is consistently ranked as one of the best places in the world to live. And they say once you experience it for yourself, you'll understand why. Now, Spain offers an incredible array of living environments. There's something for everyone. If you prefer the big city, there's places like Madrid and Barcelona, and you can enjoy the Spanish culture, nightlife, activities, endless dining options, of course, that come with big cities. If you're more of a beach lover, Costa del Sol, Alicante, Valencia, those are all places known for the sunshine and the sand. Sort of like, I guess, Florida is for the United States or certain parts of California. Beyond the landscapes, Spain's affordability compared to other European nations makes it a highly attractive destination. You can enjoy a high quality of life. The healthcare there is rated very high. The food, excellent public transportation, all of those things without breaking the bank. And don't forget, the Spanish people are known for their warmth, their hospitality, and sense of community. Now, I did see recently a video on YouTube where some of the Spanish people were complaining that there were too many people moving to certain areas, and that was driving up the cost of everything for them. But again, we can probably apply that type of thing to anywhere in the world that you're talking about that becomes popular. I know here in the United States, it's the same thing. Whenever you have a lot of people move to an area and the population increases 20, 30, 40%, because, and again, I'm just using US figures here, but, the whole infrastructure has to be upgraded. And that costs money. And where do you think the money comes from? Of course, yeah, it comes from, well, it depends on what state you're talking about. I know there are certain parts of certain cities and towns that rely on tourism, and that's where the money comes from. It comes from the outside in, as opposed to just in the local economy. But anyway, like I was saying, the quality of life there is something that is not disputed by anyone. And people say that once you arrive, and arrivals to Spain include other parts of Europe, people from the UK move there. They like to vacation in Spain, especially the people in the UK. I've talked to several people there that said they look forward every summer. They spend several weeks in Spain. They look forward to it every year. Some people even want to move there because once once you have that, and not to get off topic here, but once you have that experience somewhere else in a vacation type of setting, and it's a great experience, you can't help but imagine what it would be like to live there full time. Spain is no different. So let's talk a little bit about visas. What type of visa are you going to need? Well, okay, let me pull this up. We'll go through it. First, there's the non-lucrative visa, and this is ideal for retirees or individuals who can support themselves without working in Spain. To qualify, you need to show proof of sufficient financial means. This might mean things like a pension statement or savings account information, investment portfolios. It's a great choice if you want to live a relaxed life without the need to seek employment. Next, there's something called the Golden Visa. If you're planning to invest at least 500,000 euros in Spanish real estate, you can qualify for this visa, which often leads to residency and even citizenship over time. It's an excellent pathway for investors and their families. Third is the brand new digital nomad visa, and I don't think it's going to be long before more countries than not have this available. Spain is opening up to remote workers. So if you work for a company outside of Spain, or if you're self-employed with international clients, this visa allows you to live in Spain legally while maintaining your job abroad. Next, we have the student visa for those enrolling in a Spanish university. Spain has a great reputation for educational institutions with world-class programs, and the rates are considered affordable, and they often have courses in both Spanish and English. Finally, there's the work visa, which requires a job offer from a Spanish employer. And this path is slightly more complex as your employer needs to sponsor you, but it's also a popular option if you're one of those individuals that has specialized skills. So on movertospain.com, that's movertospain.com, you'll find detailed guides for each visa type and the documentation, and along with a lot of insider tips there. What's life like in Spain? So let's start with the cost of living. Depending on where you live, you'll find that groceries, rent, healthcare are often, let's say, between 30 and 50% cheaper than major U.S. cities. Dining out is considered affordable, with a meal at a local tapas bar often costing less than $10. Work-life balance is a real thing in Spain. Spaniards take their time. Meals are leisurely. Social life is vibrant, and you'll notice that stores often close midday for a siesta, and dinner doesn't even start until 8 or 9 p.m. Healthcare is another major perk. Spain is has one of the best healthcare systems in the world, with private insurance options that are available and considered to be excellent also. A lot of times when Americans travel overseas, they have international health insurance. They use that, and this way they can be sure they're going to get English speaking doctors because some countries, depending on what type of healthcare that you have, you find yourself in, especially in an emergency situation, in a hospital where not everyone speaks English. Yeah, English is very common throughout the world right now, but there's still areas where and places where not everyone there, of course, is going to speak that language. Culture is everywhere that you look. I think in Spain, you can talk about things like uh, flamenco dancing in Seville, running with the bulls, uh, La Tomatina's epic tomato fights. If you've ever heard of those, if you're not familiar with those, look that up online. Spain overall has just a huge blend of traditions and modern types of entertainment all blended up into one. Plus, Spain is sort of the gateway to Europe. Some people call it that. You know, a short flight will get you to Paris, to Rome, to Berlin in just a few hours. There are already expat communities thriving there, so no matter where you move in Spain, you're not going to be alone. Madrid and Barcelona have huge international communities, including Americans, Brits, Australians, Canadians. You'll find English-speaking meetups, cultural associations that you can join, and international schools if you're moving with children. Valencia is rising fast among expats, especially digital nomads and young families, and it offers all the amenities of a big city, but with more of a relaxed pace and lower costs. Malaga and Costa del Sol are particularly popular with retirees, and picture sunny beaches and golf courses and the English speaking community that makes settling much easier. If you're more the adventurous types, there's reasons like Basque Country or Galicia, and you have the opportunity to experience a unique culture in these areas that's different from the rest of Spain. So wherever you choose, you'll find that there's online groups available, there's expat clubs there, and there's communities already there, already established. So it's not like you're going to go to everything where everything's completely new, where you're going to have difficulties making connections with people. Now, SDC makes this kind of move easier than ever before. Today we're talking about Spain, but really we can be talking about anywhere because it's not just about boxing up your belongings, it's really about starting a whole new chapter in life. So at SDC International Shipping, we specialize in the complete door to door move. That is, from your current door through everything that your household goods goes through, the entire process overseas via shipment, sea freight, air freight, whatever you're talking about, through the customs into the door of your new house, everything's set up. And so the services that are available, of course, professional packing and crating to ensure that fragile items like artwork or electronics or antiques arrive safely. Excuse me, we offer vehicle shipping so that if you want to or your vehicle qualifies, you can bring your car, your motorcycle, even a boat. If you need storage, we have you covered with secure storage solutions on both sides of the move, both sides of the ocean. And of course, importantly, we handle all the complicated parts. We guide you through everything: customs clearance, insurance coverage, shipping documentation, everything that you need to avoid costly mistakes. Now, people move all the time on their own from place to place without having an expert help them. If you've ever moved before and you've learned by trial and error, you probably have already experienced what it's like to have to figure out how to pack everything and where do you buy the materials from. And now you can magnify that times at least 5 or more, maybe 10 when it comes to moving overseas, because then you're dealing with customs. What can leave the country? What can come in? What do they accept? What do they not accept? What paperwork do you need? All of that. And that's where working with professionals just makes all the difference in the world. So our relocation specialists know Spain, the import laws, all of that inside and out. And so you're going to be working with a professional if you work with SDC International Shipping. People have been doing this for many years. And so that added peace of mind really does make a difference in the overall experience. And this isn't something that you're probably going to be doing every year Right? People make X number of moves in a lifetime that are long distance like this. But recently, I just share a quick story. A family from here in the U.S. wanted to start their new life in Valencia. They had two young children, a family dog, a whole house full of memories that they wanted to bring with them. And they contacted SDC to help them with the move. And they secured a non lucrative visa. They coordinated all of the packing for them, the crating, everything was shipped and inside a giant 40-foot container. And then when their container arrived at the port in Valencia, everything was cleared through customs within 48 hours, thanks to the advanced preparation that's done. And today they're enjoying their life just steps away from the Mediterranean Sea. Their children are enrolled in an international school, and they've even joined a local American expat club. And that's what you get when you have good planning. That's what you get when you're working with the right partner. And SDC can be that partner for you, whether you're moving to Spain or somewhere else. And so, if you're ready to start that journey, especially to Spain, we're just focusing on Spain today, go to the website at movertospain.com and read through the different relocation guides, the visa advice, the customs tips, and the things there that can help you stay organized. And then when you're ready, you can fill out the form for your free quote. It's fast, it's easy, and it gets you connected with one of our international relocation specialists, and they'll help assess your needs, whether that's, packing, storage, vehicle shipping, help with paperwork, whatever it is that you need. They'll put together a custom package just for you. Within a certain budget, they can work and help you save some money, whatever area that you need to save it in. There are certain things that you can pack yourself, linens and things like that, non-breakable items, if you want to do that part and have SDC wrap the rest. One of the things about insurance also, if you look around the house, maybe you would think there's certain things that you would definitely want to make sure they were insured because they're valuable to you. They're worth a lot of money, maybe they're antiques or something like that. And so sometimes people just insure a few things to save money. They don't insure everything. Sometimes people insure just for total loss, which means like if the boat, God forbid, sank. In recent history, we did see that one situation where the boat hit the bridge, I think it was. Was that in Baltimore? I'm not even sure now. It happened several years back, but some of the containers were lost. And those things, they don't happen very often. But when it happens, you think, wow, did they have all those items insured? Accidents happen. They don't have it happen very often. But that's why you purchase insurance for that peace of mind. So, but they'll create a custom moving plan tailored just for you because at SDC, they realize that no two moves are the same. And their goal is to make sure that yours is as seamless and as efficient and as stress-free as possible. And what's nice also is when you're working with a relocation specialist through the whole process, you don't have to worry about having to talk to someone different every time you call. I like to use the cable company. I'm not gonna mention their name, but every time you call, whenever there's a problem, and I happen to use cable for my internet, so it's important. But you just think about the different services that you pay for, and the support lines that are available if you ever have a problem. And a lot of times it's a hassle. You're talking to a machine, or they want you to download an app, and it's not seamless. All you want to do is talk to a person. And that's why we have toll-free numbers also. If you want to just call and just talk to someone, you don't want to download apps, you don't want to fill out forms, you don't want to do any of that. You just want some answers to some basic questions. You can do that with SDC International Shipping. Matter of fact, let me give you the number for our Mover to Spain website. The number is 844-651-7050. That's 844-651-7050. One more time, 844-651-7050. If you want to call and talk directly to a relocation specialist in a few minutes, Call that number now, and that will be possible. But it's nice that when you call SDC, you don't have to worry about never talking to the same person twice when you're in the moving process. Someone's assigned to you, they're going to work with you through the whole process from beginning to end. And, if sometime in between you have a call, you don't have to worry about nobody answering, or again, SDC doesn't make it complicated to talk to real people. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. And if only it were so in all of the other places in life where if something goes wrong, you got to call, and then you got to go through a system of, click 1 for this, or 2 for that, or 3 for this. And then when the other person finally picks up, they ask you what you want, and you have to repeat the whole thing over again. You won't get that with SDC International Shipping. Okay, that will do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and share it with a friend. This is Jim. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you later in next week's episode.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening. Whether you're relocating within the country or moving to the other side of the world, we're here to help from start to finish. Connect with us today at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962.